what's going on? You know who it is. It is Bruce Jordan, the Michael Jordan of hotels. We got Hapi in the build today at High Tech 2025. And Ryan, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Very well. Nice to see you.
Listen, what brings you to High Tech?
Well, I'm happy to be on your podcast, so that's first. But we can't miss High Tech. It's a really good opportunity for us to get with some of our best friends in the industry, but more importantly, get to talk about our exciting things happening at Hapi.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tell us about your hotel background.
Hotel background, I started with Joie de Vivre, and my foundation of starting on property has informed my whole career, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But was on property and handled business travel and entertainment travel groups. So fun stories.
Now, what are some of the issues that you had when you were working in hotels, and the top 3 issues, and how does Hapi solve that problem?
Great question. I think back then, a lot more was manual. So I remember I was trying to do a strategy, and I had a lot of pivot tables and things in Excel because my data was really fragmented as far as where my channels were delivering various parts of my segment I was in charge of. So if I wanted to know how much business, Amex Travel was bringing me, it wasn't as clean as just clicking on a profile and, being able to see what that was.
Okay, okay.
And then when you started to have, as a second thing, in my market, I would have a lot of writers for different folks that were coming, or particular ways that a corporate group was going to want to go ahead and experience the hotel. Again, I'd print out those writers. It'd be a lot of notes I was having to pass to various people at the property. So again, I think manual work, but in a different way that was really touching the guest experience.
Okay.
And I think probably thirdly, I would say probably just not knowing my guest as well as I wanted. Back then we were still going to go onto people's social media. We would try to sleuth around and, what's your favorite wine or your candy bar? And first of all, because we didn't maybe have them in our profile database, but also we really didn't have anywhere to store that in the PMS that we were using. And while those were the pains on property, it was really challenging when you went one step above, or when I was representing multiple properties, in being able to say, well, what is this full picture of our relationship with you and all of my sister hotels? And I think the common story there is a lot of manual work and data that wasn't ready for me to use the way I needed it to. And Hapi does exactly solutioning for that.
I was we were talking off camera, and I had an issue with a property. When it was using Toast, and they could not do a room charge because Toast didn't integrate well with the version of Opera Cloud that they were using. So whenever they tried to post something to a guest room, it would duplicate the charge.
Oh, that is painful then for a guest.
And then on top of that, I don't know the other side of it, because I'm like, okay, if is this an Opera issue, or is this a Toast issue, or whose issue? I know it's my issue.
That one, for sure.
The issue that I paid for by both of these systems. So how would you help out with that integration as far as making sure the data gets to the right place?
Yeah, so I'll take it maybe broader than that specific example, but it sheds a light on an issue that's prevalent across the industry. And usually it's just about trying to sometimes connect old systems and new systems, or systems that don't have the same structured data or the same APIs or the same way that they want to connect. Historically, we thought an integration was an integration. And as long as you were going point A to point B and it looked pretty much the same and it kind of worked, you said, I have an integration.
There you go.
I think we've moved the industry forward to saying that having an integration is not enough, but it's about how we take disparate systems and normalize their data models to make sure that I now have a singular view of what the data is. And that way, whether you're upstream or downstream from that aggregated data, then you can make sure you have consistency across them. To put a pin in that even further, or to push on that further, when we are connecting with maybe 100 systems in a large estate of a global group, those are a lot of different APIs, and most of them, if not all of them, have different ways that they've structured their data. That shouldn't be your problem as a hotel operator. What you want is your data, which you own, in a usable way, because that structured data, which by the time we normalize and harmonize it, meaning that it's in a warehouse that it can now be used. Now, how you want to use it and whether you want to plug in another system of all the amazing companies that are here at High Tech selling you something that's on AI, those AI solutions are likely going to evolve very quickly. You know, if any of us use Claude or ChatGPT, we've noticed how quickly that space is accelerating. The one piece that's a durable fact that we will still be talking about here next year at High Tech is that the data has to be structured and organized, because all of the other cool stuff you want to do on top of it really hinges on the reliability of your data.
I think that has been a terrible problem for us in the hotel industry, is that some people have open APIs, others are closed, and you have to get approval and this, that, and third. So like what has that challenge been like for you, and how have you been able to overcome it?
Yeah, you know, I think there's a couple reasons why that seems to be a continued problem. I think one is it is hard for vendors to partner with vendors if they see them as competition.
I agree.
And finding a way for us to, you know, be friendly and compete. And ultimately, we're here to contribute to an industry that we all love, right? The hospitality industry. I think Hapi's position in that, to where we can be a agnostic purveyor of that data. We are not selling all of those operational widgets necessarily, or those operational technologies that people want to stack on. So we can be almost a neutral party between the hotel enterprises and the vendors, or vendors and vendors, to where they can have us be a trusted purveyor of that data so that they can continue to do what they do, which is invest in their operational technology or their end user UI, UXs, that your clients, if you're those vendors, are continually asking you for feature enhancements. What we can do is help alleviate the integration part, which is table stakes for you, but it's core to what we do, so that you can go back and focus on your core competency, which is creating the best product possible to continue to contribute to the industry.
You know, my friend Christine Trippy, one of her pet peeves is that, why do we have so many systems on different screens? I'm like, she's like, I have to go into this system.
Swivel chair.
Yeah. Like, I got to go into this system, and then by the time I go back to that system, they log me out, and I got to log back in. Like, what can we do about that? Like, what do you think would be the best solution?
The most common reason you are using Swivel chair is because you don't have data that is consolidated. If I am checking you in and I see you don't have a loyalty number in your thing, and I'm incentivized as a front desk agent to make sure I'm enrolling people in loyalty, I may have to swivel chair over and go to my loyalty system. How great would it be for your data warehouse to go ahead and be able to know that you didn't have a loyalty number in your CRS reservation, but know that you are in the loyalty system, and be able to automatically populate that loyalty number in there, which means that front desk agent no longer has to do swivel chair, but also that means you as a guest get to your room faster, either off of that long flight, or get to just enjoy your vacation with your family more. That's a really good use case of reducing the swivel chair that's required on property, and also creating a better guest experience. And if we can provide solutions that do both of those things, to me, that is where our investments go farthest.
Man, so like, let's say you go into a property, you eliminate the swivel chair. Like, they must be like kissing you when you're leaving.
Luckily, there are always new things we can help them solve. So they may be loving what we're providing, but there's always more we can do with them. So for us, it's really about building trust with those use cases, so that we can be a part of the solution. You know, there's a lot of amazing consultants in the industry, and there's a lot of amazing operational technology that's delivered and introduced every year at High Tech. I think we try to really fill a special spot of being both of those things without competing with either of those things on their own. Because we understand the industry. We have over 1,300 years of hospitality industry within our team. And recently actually added a chief product officer that brings incredible depth of knowledge around AI and productization. Because while we realize we can do a lot of things that are cool and unique for a specific enterprise client, what we're solving is really broad across the industry, needing to be solved. So as we productize more and more, you know, we're able to almost democratize the type of data consolidation that has historically maybe been a challenge unless you were a global enterprise.
What is your ultimate end goal for the hotel industry when it comes to data? What would you love to see, like, when you walk into every single hotel? Because you've been on the back end and the front end, so now you really know what's going on.
How much time do you have?
Half of the people here, unlike half of the people here are just, you know, that are just all tech, and they have no idea like what these systems, how they really use. Like usually it doesn't work out in their head the way they think is going to work out for the hotel. But you've been on both sides of the fence, so this was probably easy for you.
I think when I was on property, I would always tell our teams, treat every guest like you're welcoming them into your home. And for them, whether they're a business traveler or they're there for personal, they are there because it is an escape from either that conference room or it's an escape from the real life at home where they want to just be with their family and go have a wonderful time. So I think our North Star within the industry has to always be, how do we enhance or optimize the guest experience? But the beautiful thing about that is it reinforces brand loyalty. It reinforces people remembering that discretionary income they have should be about travel. And that way they can have experiences around the world. And ultimately, both of those things help us with our ADRs, they help us with our occupancies, and it helps the bottom line. So I think if we always stay true to our North Star of guest experience and optimizing that, I do think the money follows. Now, there are a lot of optimization tactics we can do around how we monetize our properties, but it always ultimately goes with, are we doing what is going to land with the customer? How that relates to Hapi, I think, is again about understanding your guests with a full picture, which oftentimes isn't just about the data in one system with a 3-letter acronym. It's about aggregating all of those 3-letter acronyms and being able to get a full picture of who you are and how you want to experience the property. And maybe how you want to experience the property is different when you're traveling for business or personal. So when we have that data that is normalized and consistent, it now allows me to not just treat you, but you as the persona for that particular trip. So my dream place of where I'd like us to be, and we are an integral part of that, is having a persona-based guest experience for every property that you're going to, where we reinforce the profitability of a property, the loyalty that a guest might have with that group, and also ultimately create incredible memories for every guest that walks into our doors.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listen, next subject is how to automatically log you out of Netflix when you're staying at the hotel.
Which we could also help with.
But thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time.
How can I get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch with us at stayhappy.com. And we'll get you in contact with any of our sales folks. And we've had a great time here at High Tech in San Antonio. And of course, we'll be at High Tech next year in Orlando.
And thank you for joining us for another episode. This is Bruce Jordan of Michael Jordan Hotels, signing out. Hey, what's going on? It's Bruce Jordan, the hotel revenue expert. I just want to take a quick second to thank you for watching this video. If you could just do us a big favor and just subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos like this, more information, great information about hotels. I'm also the author of the Hotel Revenue Bible. You can get that book on hotelrevenuebible.com. And we are here to answer all your questions. So if you have any questions, just shoot us a quick text at 321-321-2002. That's 321-321-2002. And you can book a revenue call. Go to hotelrevenuecall.com and we can answer any and all your questions. Just make an appointment with me. You'll do one-on-one with me. You'll be able to do one-on-one with me, and we could go ahead and get all your questions answered and see if you have any revenue issues that needs to be resolved. Talk to you soon. Thank you again. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate you.